Welcome to the digital learning platform Sri Guru Sudhindra College, Bhatkar. Course BCom Second Sem. Subject Financial Accounting. Topic Branch Accounts, Independent Branches. In the previous part on independent branches, we have seen the incorporation entries in the books of head office. In this part, we will be looking at the reconciliation entries and other adjusting entries. There might be certain situations wherein certain transactions are recorded in the books of branch, but they might not be recorded in the books of head office. Or else sometimes they might be recorded in the books of head office, but they might not be recorded in the books of branch. So in that case, what happens is when the combined balance sheet is being prepared, at that time the balances might not tally. There might be differences and it might create problem for the head office in creating the or preparing the financial statements. For that purpose, in order to get a correct result of the business, some reconciliation entries or adjusting entries needs to be made. We'll look at the situations wherein reconciliation entries or adjusting entries are required. First one, cash in transit or remittance in transit. Cash in transit means cash remitted by branch to head office before closing date of accounts, but it has been received by head office after the closing date of accounts. Means before closing my accounts, I am sending the cash to the head office. So when I am sending the cash to the head office, the branch is recording the transaction in its books. But the head office has received the cash after closing date of accounts. Hence, head office has not recorded the transaction in its books. This might create a differences in the balances of accounts maintained by branch and head office. For this purpose, reconciliation entries are required. So, if the entry is needed in the books of branch, the entry will be cash in transit account debit to head office account, and if this entry needs to be made in the books of head office, the journal entry will be cash in transit account debit to branch account. Next one, goods in transit. It means goods sent by the head office before closing date of accounts, but it reaches the branch after the closing date of accounts. So same thing over here. Head office is recording the transaction, branch has not recorded the transaction. In that case, the journal entry will be goods in transit account debit to branch account. Next one, depreciation on branch assets. In this case, what happens is the accounts of branch assets are maintained by the head office. Means the assets are actually used by the branch, but the accounts of those assets are maintained in the books of head office. So head office, they will calculate the depreciation and they will charge it to the branch account. In that case, the journal entries which are required are in the books of head office, branch account debit to branch assets account, and in the books of branch, if the entry is required, it will be depreciation account debit to head office account. Next one, expenses for branches. Sometimes head office might incur certain expenses for its branch, and when it incurs the expenses for its branch, the head office charges those expenses to the respective branches. So they will be charged to the accounts of the branch. In that case, the journal entries are in the books of head office, branch account debit to expenses account, and in the books of branch, the journal entry will be expenses account debit to head office account. Last one, inter-branch transactions. Inter-branch transaction means transaction which takes place between the branches of a business. Under one head office itself, there might be various branches which are operating, and when they transfer cash or transfer goods from one branch to another, it is called as inter-branch transactions. If these transactions are on a regular basis, each individual branch, they will maintain a current account of the other branch. So there is no adjustment need to be made. But if these transactions are very rarely taking place, once in a while such type of transaction takes place, in that case these transactions are treated as transaction between the head office and the branch. In that case, the journal entries will be in the books of head office. Head office will debit the receiving branch account. The branch which is receiving the cash or receiving the goods, that branch account will be debited, and the branch which is giving the goods or giving cash, that particular branch account is credited. Next, in the books of the branch which is sending the goods. So how will the sending branch record the transaction? It will debit the head office account and credit cash or goods sent account. So why is head office account recorded over here? Because I already told you all, if these transactions are rarely taking place, in that case the transaction is considered as transaction between head office and the branch. So they are debiting head office account and crediting the cash or goods sent account. Next, the receiving branch, how does it record the transaction? They will debit the cash or goods received account and credit the head office account. So these are the 5 adjusting entries which might be required. So we'll have a look at small problem based upon these adjustment entries. So here is a question wherein they have asked to prepare or pass the journal entries in the books of head office. So adjusting entries are given. Based upon this, we need to make the journal entries. First one, cash remitted by X branch rupees 1000 on 30 December 2011 has been received by head office on 1st January. So cash is sent before closing the accounts, but it is received by head office after closing the accounts. So it becomes cash in transit. Hence the journal entry will be cash in transit account debit to X branch account 1000 being adjustment of cash in transit. Second one, goods sent by head office worth rupees 2000 is not received by the branch before 31st of December. Means before closing the accounts, goods were sent to the branch, but branch has not received the goods. So this becomes goods in transit. Hence the journal entry will be goods in transit account debit to X branch account 2000 being adjustment of goods in transit. Third one, provide depreciation of rupees 500 on X branch furniture, the account of which is maintained by head office. So head office is maintaining the branch assets account and it has charged a depreciation on the asset. So the journal entry will be X branch account debit to branch furniture account 500 being depreciation charged to branch. Next one, expenses paid by head office to its X branch 400 and Y branch 300. So head office has paid expenses for its branches which has not been recorded. So we will have to record them now. Journal entry, X branch account debit 400, Y branch account debit 300 to expenses account total 700 being expenses charged to branch. And the last one, goods sent by X branch to Y branch, means it is a inter-branch transaction. So the journal entry will be Y branch account debit, that is the receiving branch account Y branch account debit 200 to X branch account 200. Being goods sent by X branch to Y branch directly adjusted. We'll have one more question over here. Take the note of the question. Here we are provided the ledger balances of branch account and we are given certain adjusting entries. So what we'll have to do? We have to pass the incorporation entries. Along with incorporation entries, we need to make the adjustment entries. So incorporation entries, we begin with trading account, debit side, then credit side. Next, once trading is completed, we move on to profit and loss account, first debit side, then credit side, and then branch assets and branch liabilities. So in this order only we will pass all the incorporation entries. First journal entry, branch trading account debit to branch account. So here we are considering all the debit items of branch trading account. Which are the debit items given? Opening stock, purchases and goods received by the branch. So these are the 3 debit entries which will be coming in trading account of the branch. So total is 40,000. Second entry is for when we consider the credit items from the trading account. So the journal entry is branch account debit to branch trading account, being incorporation of sales and closing stock. So these are the 2 items which are coming on the credit side of trading account. We have taken those 2 items. Total comes to 37,000. Once we make the debit and credit entries, we should see whether there is gross profit or gross loss. Here the debit side total is 40,000, whereas credit side total is 37,000. So it is clear that we have a gross loss of rupees 3,000. So the journal entry is branch profit and loss account debit to branch trading account, being transfer of gross loss 3,000, 3,000. So we have finished with the entries in trading account. Next we have to move on to the profit and loss account. Again we'll begin with debit side entries. We'll see which are the items given. Profit and loss account debit side, we should consider salary, rent, and also have a look at the adjustments. If anything is given in the adjustments, that also needs to be considered. The fourth one over here, depreciate branch machinery and furniture. So depreciation is an expense which should be included in the profit and loss account. So we need to consider salary, rent and depreciation. Salary 1,200 plus rent 1,500. Then we have depreciation on machinery. Machinery value 5,000, 10% comes to 500. Plus we also need to provide depreciation on furniture. Furniture value is 3,000. So depreciation comes to 300. So 1,200 plus 1,500 plus 500 depreciation on machinery and 300 depreciation on furniture. All these items need to be taken into profit and loss account. So the journal entry is branch profit and loss account debit to branch account, being incorporation of salary, rent and depreciation. Total comes to 3,500. Next we need to consider credit items of profit and loss account. We'll see which are the items given. Credit side of profit and loss account, we have only one, that is interest received. So the journal entry will be branch account debit to branch profit and loss account 1,000, 1,000, being incorporation of interest received. we have taken debit items of profit and loss account and credit items of profit and loss account. So now we have to close the account and see whether there is net profit or net loss. See here, branch profit and loss account debit balance, we have 3000 plus one more debit balance of 3500. So total 6500 on debit side, and credit side we have only 1000. So again we have a loss. So the journal entry will be general profit and loss account debit to branch profit and loss account, 5500, 5500. So we finished with the trading account and profit and loss account. Next we need to consider branch assets and branch liability. We'll see which are the branch assets given. Branch assets we have stock 7000 plus machinery is there. Machinery amount 5000. From that 5000 depreciation has to be adjusted. So 5000 minus 500 we have 4500. Again we have debtors 6500 and cash at bank 2000. So 4 assets are there. Stock 7000, machinery 4500, debtors 6500, cash at bank 2000. So the journal entry is branch assets account debit to branch account, being incorporation of stock, machinery, debtors and cash at bank, 20,000, 20,000. We were also given furniture, but we have not considered furniture because furniture account is maintained by the head office. So furniture will not be taken into the assets of branches. Next we need to consider liabilities of the branch. There is only one liability given, that is creditors. So your journal entry will be branch account debit to branch liabilities account 6000, 6000. All the incorporation entries are done. Now last entry to be done is the adjusting entry, that is for depreciation on furniture. Depreciation on machinery we have already taken it in profit and loss and in the assets. So one thing remaining is depreciation of furniture, that is, since furniture account is maintained by the head office, it becomes an additional adjustment which needs to be considered. So the entry is branch account debit to branch furniture account, being depreciation charged to branch 300, 300. In the question we were also asked to prepare the branch account. So now based upon these journal entries which are there, we will prepare the branch account. In the question you are given the debit balance of branch account, means it is the opening balance of branch account given. To balance brought down 19,700. Next, look at the first journal entry, branch trading account debit to branch account. So here branch account is credited, hence the entry will come on credit side. By branch trading account 40,000. Next, branch account debit to branch trading account. So here branch account is debited, trading account is credited. So entry will come on debit side to branch trading account 37,000. Third journal entry, branch account is not affected. We'll move on to the fourth one. In fourth journal entry, branch account is credited. So entry will come on credit side by branch profit and loss account 3,500. Next, branch account debit to branch profit and loss account. So entry is coming on debit side 1,000. Sixth one, branch account is not affected. We'll look at the seventh one, branch assets account debit to branch account. So branch account is credited and the other account which is given is branch assets. So your entry will come on credit side by branch assets account 20,000. Next one, branch account is debited, branch liabilities is credited. So entry comes on debit side to branch liabilities 6,000. Last one, branch account debit to branch furniture. So again branch account is debited to branch furniture account 300. So when you total this, debit side is more, that is we have 64,000, but credit side is 63,500. We have a difference of rupees 500. This difference is treated as by goods in transit, that is the balancing figure. So whenever you prepare this branch account, after making all the entries, if there is any difference, it will be treated as goods in transit or cash in transit if it is mentioned in the question. If nothing is given in the question, the difference is written as by goods in transit, that is the balancing figure. We'll have a look at one more question, similar question, wherein we have to prepare or pass all the incorporation entries. Along with the incorporation entries, we have to make the adjusting or reconciliation entries. So we'll begin with the incorporation entries. First one, branch trading account debit to branch account. That is, we are considering debit items of trading account. Which are the debit items? Opening stock, purchases, goods received and wages. So whatever items are given in the question, we will look at them. Whichever one comes in trading account will be considered. So your 4 items are there: opening stock, purchases, goods received and wages. All the 4 items to be considered. Amount 50,000, 50,000. Next, credit side of trading account. So journal entry will be branch account debit to branch trading account, being incorporation of sales and closing stock. 70,000, 70,000. So now we have taken debit side items and credit side items. Now we'll have to find whether there is gross profit or gross loss. Branch trading account, credit balance is 70,000, debit balance is 50,000. So we have a profit of rupees 20,000. So the journal entry will be branch trading account debit to branch profit and loss account 20,000, 20,000. So we have completed trading account. Next we have to make the entries of profit and loss account. We'll see which are the entries of profit and loss account. Debit side, we are given salaries, sundry expenses. These are the 2 items given in the trial balance. We have to look at the adjustments also to see if there are any entries. See here, 5th one, they have given head office expenses of rupees 3,000 are chargeable to the branch for the year. So head office expense is an expense which has to be included in your profit and loss account. So we will include this one. Next they have given branch assets whose accounts are maintained in head office books are depreciated with rupees 2,000. So depreciation is an expense to be included in your profit and loss account. So now we have 4 items to be included in profit and loss: salaries, sundry expenses, head office expense and depreciation. So the journal entry is branch profit and loss account debit to branch account, being incorporation of salary, sundry expenses, head office expenses and depreciation 15,500. Next we have to look at the credit items. There is only one credit item given. So the journal entry is branch account debit to branch profit and loss account, being incorporation of discount earned 500. Now after making the debit and credit entries of profit and loss account, we have to see whether there is profit or a loss. So here branch profit and loss account credit balance we have 20,000. Again one more credit balance of 500. Total credit side 20,500 and on debit side we have 15,500. So we have a net profit. Hence the journal entry will be branch profit and loss account debit to general profit and loss account 5,000. So here we finished with the profit and loss account. Next we need to consider branch assets and branch liabilities. So the seventh journal entry is branch assets account debit to branch account. Narration: being incorporation of closing stock, debtors and cash 25,000. Next one, branch account debit to branch liabilities, that is incorporation of branch creditors 5,000. So till here journal entry number 8, these are all the incorporation entries. We have made all the incorporation entries. Next we have to see or look at the additional or the reconciliation entries which are to be made. We'll look at the adjustments given. First one regarding closing stock. So there is no journal entry to be passed. Second one is regarding the opening balance of branch account. No journal entry required. Third one, cash remitted by head office rupees 800 had not reached the branch on or before closing date of accounts. Means cash has been remitted before accounts being closed, but still it has not been received before closing date of accounts. Hence it becomes cash in transit. So the journal entry will be cash in transit account debit to branch account, being adjustment of cash in transit 800. Next adjustment given, goods worth rupees 1,200 sent by head office reach the branch after closing date of accounts. Means it is goods in transit. So the journal entry is goods in transit account debit to branch account 1,200. Next one, the head office expenses of rupees 3,000 are chargeable to the branch. We have considered it in profit and loss account. Still we will have to make the adjusting journal entry. Entry is branch account debit to office expense account 3,000. And the last one is regarding depreciation, which is given. The asset is maintained by the head office. So head office is charging the depreciation to branch. Hence we make the journal entry branch account debit to branch assets account 2,000. So based on these journal entries, now we prepare the branch account. Branch account, in the adjustment they had given the opening balance, that is the debit balance of branch account was given, which becomes the opening balance over here. To balance brought down 12,000. First journal entry, branch trading account debit to branch account. So our branch account is credited. Hence this entry will go on credit side. By branch trading account 40,000. Second journal entry, branch account is debited and the other account is branch trading account. So the entry will go on debit side to branch trading account. So similarly, looking at all these entries individually, we will have to make the entries in branch account. Here we have considered all the incorporation entries and all the adjustment entries given in the question. Hence, the branch account total of debit side and credit side are equal. Thank you.